everyone. Thanks so much for joining our webinar today on selections and sourcing and procurement. My name is Katie. I'm on the product marketing team, and I work closely with our customers to get feedback on House Pro and understand how you're all using the platform. I'm sure I've spoken with some of you before. And then also work closely with our product and engineering teams to make sure that we're building the right products for our customers. So we've been doing a lot more of these webinars. Hopefully some of you joined last week when Desi and I went through the mood boards. Today we're going to be covering all things sourcing, selections, and procurement. As I mentioned, we will be recording this and sending it out afterwards. And as you have any questions as we go through, feel free to add them into the Q&A tab. And depending on timing, we'll either be able to answer them live or we'll answer them in the chat. And anything we miss, we can follow up with you afterwards. So Desi, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Katie, for the introduction. My name is Desiree. I am part of the product team for the selections tools here at House. And I'm really excited to show you in the next hour what's new in House Pro Selections. We'll talk about when is the best time to use those tools, how they integrate with each other, and how to customize them so they fit perfectly your individual needs. So thank you all for joining this webinar today. Before we start with the actual demo, I would like to cover a little bit of theory just to make sure that we're all on the same page and we're all talking about the same challenges that we're facing throughout the sourcing and procurement stage of a project, and how to actually overcome them with House Pro. So to create a context here, I bet every single one of you has been there. You have poured your heart into creating a great design concept, and now it's all about finding, customizing, ordering, and managing the delivery of those many components required to bring that concept to life. As you know, this is what we refer to as the sourcing and procurement part of a project. And many designers find this process tedious and stressful. It is very often very complex and time-consuming, and just a wild guess. It probably comes with huge spreadsheets, lengthy emails, countless folders with images, bookmarks, etc., etc. So that's at least what I hear from talking to many different designers across the country, and I would assume that many of you can relate to this. Now, I would like to quickly outline 3 main pain points that have been brought to my attention in regards to the sourcing and procurement process that designers struggle with the most, and maybe you will identify yourself with some of them as well. So first of all, the biggest pain point that has been brought up is the struggle of keeping everyone involved and in the loop. Let's look at the client and presentation side. How do you professionally present and share the selections that you are suggesting or that you have sourced? How to manage the whole approval process? These things come with tons of back and forth and are often very time consuming. What's the solution for this? The solution is the selection boards in House Pro and the client dashboard. The selection boards, we will look into this in just a minute. They are your tool for arranging and presenting all selections in a professional and organized manner. And then through the client dashboard, which is kind of a central hub for your client, they will have access to view, comment, and approve on the selections. These are 2 of probably our most popular features, and I'm really excited to be demoing them to you in just a moment. Another big issue is often faced throughout the sourcing process itself. It's often inefficient, it's fragmented, it's time consuming. Again, here, the solution that we can offer you is the House Pro Clipper and the House Pro Library. You can source and build a reusable library with the Clipper tool. The Clipper prevents you from reclipping the same products over and over again, and basically you won't have to reinvent the wheel whenever you work on a new design. And last but not least, I'll make this a quick one. Procurement can be problematic when tasks and items are lost, especially if you work in a bigger team maybe. This can be even a bit more challenging. Here, the solution that we offer to you is the selections tracker. It can be really your savior. It can help you and your teammates to gain instant visibility and will allow you to stay ahead for every product in your project. Okay, now that's it in terms of theory for now. Let's take a moment to breathe, and I would very much like to hear from all of you if any of these pain points, are you struggling with them as well? We have prepared a quick poll. Katie, thanks for pulling it up. So what is it that you struggle most with throughout the sourcing and procurement phase of your projects? Let's take a few seconds to answer this question. And in case you selected other, we would be really interested in hearing what your biggest pain is. So please feel free to write your answer in the chat. All right, to sum up, what are the goals of this webinar? Basically, I will show you how to overcome all of those pain points that we just mentioned with the help of the House Pro software. 1, we will learn how to elevate your client collaboration. 2, I will show you how to request a quote in a quick and easy and efficient way. 3, I will show you how to keep your projects on track. And lastly, this is a little surprise for you in the end. We are about to launch a new feature. It's currently in a beta stage, a new reports feature that will help you with all your company finances. So please stay with us until the very end. There is a little surprise for you.
Desi, the number 1 reply from the poll was keeping track of order and delivery status of all project items. So it'll be perfect for the tracker.
Great. We'll touch upon that. We'll touch upon that in just a moment. Yeah, so let's jump into the demo. While I pull up my screen, Katie, can you open up another very quick poll? And I will start sharing my screen in the meantime.
Sure. For the next poll, we would love to hear how you're currently managing sourcing and procurement. You should see that poll show up in a second.
All right, here we go. So we are going to start with the selection boards feature. Often I get the question, when do I start working with selection boards? There is a pretty straightforward answer to that. What we would usually recommend is to start getting into selection boards once you've created your mood boards. Again, here, another very common question is, what is the difference between a mood board and a selections board? A mood board typically gives your client an overall feel of the atmosphere of the proposed design. It's less about specific, it is more about really conveying an overall aesthetic and to get an emotional response. However, when it comes to specifics, that's where the selection boards come into play. In a selections board, you can share all your product options with your client. You can arrange them in a visually appealing and easily digestible format. You can gather feedback on items from your client, and you can also collect approval. So what you see here is an example of a fully fleshed out, let's say, selections board. It's my personal board that I have created, but I've talked to a lot of designers and I've seen how they are using the boards. And this is very much, realistic, let's say. So what you see here, first of all, is I inserted a mood board, again, to give an overall look and feel of how the project, how the room is intended to look like. I added a 3D floor plan, and I also inserted a few renderings. So this is kind of the framework of this whole selections board. And right underneath, you can insert all the products that you want to offer to your clients. What I did here as well is I tried to structure them in a logical way. So I bundled all the furnishings together. Then I have one section that covers all the lighting products, one section for window treatments, and so on and so on, one for decorations. And here at the very bottom, what I've seen many designers do as well is they do add a section that covers all the files that go along with this board, with this project. For example, installation guides, tear sheets, whatever you want to share in terms of files with your client. It's recommendable to add a separate section here and just to plug them all in here. Now, looking at the single or the individual components, products, you can see there is a big image, a big visual. You can see the unit price, you can see quantities, and you can see the client will have the option to decline or approve. The client also has a way to comment on every single item. There is an entry point for the product link in case you want to share the direct link for this product, and many more options. And as I said, it's structured in a very neat and organized way with all the sections that can also be collapsed. It's just it gives you a very professional look. Your client has an organized way of looking at what's going on and can make decisions whenever it's convenient for them. Another thing I would like to point out here is this budget bar on the top right that you can see here. It's very recommended to insert a room budget. It will adjust according to approved or declined items. You can also proactively include items in the budget or decide to hide them from the budget. And it's very convenient for you. You'll be able to see, okay, how do my products affect the overall budget? And it's also very convenient for your client because they will also be able to see, are we still within the budget or are we maybe not? All right, so this is just to give you an example of how a selections board could look like in the end. Now, how do you actually create a selections board yourself? To show you that, I'm just going to jump into a different project. So you might be all familiar with this screen. It's your project home screen with all your entry points for all the different features, for all your different designs, your files, and everything project related. You have a direct entry point for your selection boards right here. Or you can also enter the boards through the project navigation right here on the left-hand side if you click on selection boards. Once you're in here, there are different entry points to create a new board. You can either click on this tile or you can create on this black button in the top right that says create new. Either or, it will be the same action. You will be asked to give a name to name the room, and you can, if you want, you can assign a teammate or yourself to be, let's say, the owner of this selections board. Now, I have already created a new selections board for this demo. I called it Breakfast Nook, and this is basically what you will see when you create a new selections board, when you open a new board. It's basically a blank canvas. Now, what to do from here? The first thing that I would always recommend is to add a mood board, which you can, of course, also create in the House Pro. You click into the right rail, you click on mood boards, that's the entry point. And here you will be able to insert all the mood boards that you have created. Now, that's what I'm going to do. This is a board that I have created beforehand for this specific project and room. What you can do is, if you would like to draw a bit more attention to this mood board, you can make this tile a little bit bigger. So when your client will open the board, this is the first thing that they will see. It will be easy for them to actually scroll through all the pages, especially if you have a mood board that consists of more than one page. they will have it full screen more or less. So it's always nice to have a mood board show a bit bigger. If you don't want that, you can, of course, have it in small size as well. Now, the next thing I would recommend you is to set up a structure for your selections board. How to do that? With you'll do that with sections, basically. You see 2 entry points to create new sections on top and on the bottom. You just click on it, and a new section will be open for you. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Let's say I will call mine furnishing. You can also assign a color if you would like to. You can add a description here. And then it's basically all about inserting products into your section or into your board. You can also drag your mood board into a specific section. It doesn't have to float outside of a section. It can also live inside. Everything is possible. You're totally flexible in how you want to set up your board. Now, how to add products to your selections board. The easiest and best way is to enter your library. Again, on the right-hand side in your navigation panel, you click on Library. Library is your entry point for your House Pro library. So this is basically all the items that you have ever saved either manually to your library or saved through the Clipper or imported through your own Excel catalog file. I'll just jump into the library for a quick moment. The way to access it is through Company and then Products and Services. This is your personal House Pro library. And what you'll see here is, again, all your items that you have saved to House Pro. As I said, you can either manually add a product here, super quick and easy. You can also import your own catalog. These are, I believe, 2 or 3 super quick steps. You just drag and drop your Excel sheet in here. Then you map the columns so the system knows which column of your Excel file or spreadsheet it corresponds with which field in House Pro. And then within a few seconds, you will have your personal catalog live inside House Pro. And from there, you can use these products across the whole platform. You can insert them in selection boards. You can insert them in mood boards. You can use them in your financial documents, really everywhere. It's super convenient. It's your go-to library for whatever you do. And all your products are saved for you. Another way to add to your library is the House Pro Clipper. And I will just super briefly touch upon this one. The Clipper is a very, very popular tool among our designers specifically. It's a Google Chrome extension. And once you've installed it from the Google Web Store or the Chrome Store, it will be added to your toolbar. And once you click on it, you will be able to scrape all product information and product images from any of your preferred vendor's website. So let's say I want to save this chair to my House Pro library. All I have to do is open up the Clipper, fill in the information. I can even attach this specific product to a project and a room and a selections board. Let me quickly do that to show you how it works. So I select my project, I select my breakfast nook room, and I tell the Clipper to add this product directly to my board. I'll just quickly add some information as well so it doesn't save blank. You see, you just highlight the information, then a little pop-up will appear. You select what this piece of information belongs to, and there you go. The Clipper will fill in all the information for you. Let's clip some images as well. And there you go. I'm ready to save it to House Pro. And then I go back to my selections board. And it should appear right here. Here it is, the chair that I just clipped. And if I go back to my library, you will also see that it will appear in your library. You can reuse it wherever and whenever you want. It's right there. Okay, so now let me add a few more products so we can fill this selections board with life. As you can see, you can either drag and drop items from your sidebar like this, and then you can place them right at the location where you want to have them. Or another option is to just click on the item and it will be added to the board at the beginning of the board. But then if you don't want it to be there, you will have to manually move it over to the location where you want it to live. Now, okay, let's go on. Once you've added all the products that you want to add, you can, again, a recommendation, always add a budget to the room. It helps you, it helps your client. How to do that? Just click here on edit, insert a budget, let's say 15,000. You can also check if tax and if shipping is included. And then you can check the items that are supposed to be included in the budget. And you'll see the budget bar go up. Now, another very exciting feature, it is brand new, I would like to share with you. In case, for example, let's say this rug, you would like to offer to your client in the context of this breakfast nook, but let's say you also want to offer the same rug for their guest bedroom. Now you can do that super easily and quick by clicking on the three dots and duplicating the item. So you choose the project where you want to copy this item to. You select the selections board. Let's say the guest bedroom, you want to offer the same rug there. You can even select a section to which this item should be copied to. Now I don't have a proper section where it would fit, but this is basically how you do it. Then you click duplicate and the item will be duplicated over to the other selections board. Super quick and easy. You save a lot of time. It's a great new feature that has just launched actually. Now, let's pretend the board is all ready. You are ready to share it with your client. I'll show you now how to do that. But since this is not the prettiest board, let me go back to the one that we looked at before. Let's say you want to share this board with your clients. How to do that? You just click on preview and share on the top right. And what you'll get then is a preview of how the board will look like for your client once it's shared. You see, they can scroll and they will basically have the same view as you. They will see all the sections, all the products related to those sections. Here we have collapsed some, so they will be collapsed for your client as well. And just a very important information here on the very top, you can customize some very important viewing settings. So for example, you're super flexible in what you want to share with your client. So it's important to make these adjustments before you share the board with them. There are different options on what can be customized. For example, in terms of pricing, you can decide if you want to show out item pricing or not. So let's say currently it's turned on, which means that every product will show with the respective unit price. If you turn it off, you'll see it doesn't show anymore. Same with the budget bar. Maybe there is a reason you want to hide the overall budget. Then you can do that very easily here. Then you have a few more options in terms of item details. You can show or hide the quantity. You can show or hide description, color, materials, and dimension. And you can also show or hide the product links. We've looked at the product link before. It's this little icon. If you don't want your client to to have access to the link to the vendor website, just go here and hide the links. And last but not least, everything that has to do with approvals. This section refers to the decline and approve buttons. For example, what I tend to do is I do not want to have those buttons on my mood boards, because at this stage of the project, the mood board is usually always approved already, so there is no need for the client to be able to decline or approve a mood board. Same actually goes with the floor plan, and also for files and images. There is no real need to have those buttons, so you're super flexible if you want to show or hide them. Now, once you've gone through all these settings and you have adjusted what you wanted to adjust, you're good to share the board with your client. And to do that, you just click share in the top right corner. What will happen then is you will see this little pop-up. It's the email that will be sent to your client. There is a default text that we wrote for you, but you're of course you can change it to whatever you want to tell your client. This is the copy that will show in the email. So once you hit send, your client will receive an email which will look somewhat like this. And then your client can click on the link and the selections board will open for them. And the way it will look is just the same way as you've seen it just now, with all the customizations, no approve or decline buttons here. We decided to hide the unit price. And here the client has the option to approve or decline on the product. Now, in my example, the client has already seen the board before. That's why some of the items are declined or approved. But usually all the items would have the same options. Also, you can see your client can leave comments for you on every individual product. So this is super convenient if you want to start discussions on some of the items. All in all, it's a very great collaboration tool. It's super easy. It's very convenient. This whole board being nested within the client dashboard, and I can show you how the client dashboard looks like for the client itself. As I said, the client dashboard is the central hub for your client to access all project-related information. So this is the home screen of a client dashboard. On the left-hand side, they have all the options to access all files and all designs that you have shared with them. Selections is one of them. So here the client will see all the selections board that you have shared with them, view them whenever it's convenient for them, interact with them, approve products, leave comments on products whenever it's convenient for them. So this is really such a time saver. It saves you a lot of stress. There is no back and forth with emails. It all lives within House Pro. And yeah, we only hear really positive feedback from clients and from pros, and all the clients that work with pros that use the client dashboard are just super, super happy to have this kind of resource. Now, Katie, maybe we have time to cover one quick question. We're already...
Yes, great. There were a few questions on duplicating. So if you duplicate, will that also duplicate into your project library?
No, it won't duplicate in the project library. It will really only copy the item to that respective board where you decide to copy it. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention, you cannot just duplicate items. You can actually also duplicate whole sections. If you click on the three dots over here, you can duplicate the whole section. And you can also, and this is also new, if you click on the eye icon, you can even duplicate a whole board. So this might save you tons and tons of time. Brand new feature. I'm very much a fan of this.
Okay, awesome. I think you can keep going and then we can answer others if there's time at the end.
Okay, great. So going one step further in the workflow, what should happen next after you have shared the board and your client has approved everything that needed approval? What's next? Probably you will need to write a proposal or an invoice, and then you'll need to collect money. And after that, you'll need to start placing orders with all of the vendors. Now, how to do that? There is a very quick and easy and intuitive way. You can see this convert button on the very top. If you click on it, you will have the option to convert the items that are on your board into a proposal or an invoice. So let's say I want to convert all of these items into a proposal. I just select them, I click on convert, and within a few seconds, I have my proposal set up. I will not go into too much detail in the proposal, but just to follow the flow and your workflow for you to be able to follow along. You can collect payments on your proposal. So let's pretend you have sent out this proposal to your client, they have accepted the proposal, and you have received your money. Now, the next step would be to create purchase orders, to place the orders with your vendors. How to do that? Also within just a few clicks. From the proposal, you click into actions, and from here, there is the entry point to create purchase orders. Now, what you'll see here is, again, all the items that you have on your proposal. If you don't want to convert one to a purchase order, just exit out. And let's say for these 3 items, I want to create a purchase order. I'll do that. I'll click create. You see it automatically pulled the vendor because it was saved with the item in my library. And now I have my purchase orders. This is how a purchase order can look like. Of course, you will have all your vendor information here, and you will have all the item information showing here. There's also tons of ways to customize the columns, the information that should show, the way it should display for your vendor. Also here, you're super, super flexible. And so now once your purchase orders are out, the tedious process of tracking all items begins. Actually, even before that, as of course you don't want to order items twice, for instance, you do want to keep track of what has been ordered and what not. And this is where the selections tracker comes in. Now let me jump to our selections tracker. The entry point to access the tracker is, again, through your project navigation. On the left-hand side, you will find the entry point for the selections tracker. The selections tracker is easy. In easy words, it's your all-in-one source when it comes to keeping oversight of all items that are related to your project, to see what their order status is. You can see what your financial situation looks like for this project. And it's also your place to keep item-specific internal notes. And there is lots more situation for when this tracker can be useful, but let's take a look together. So if this is the first time you're seeing a tracker, it might look a little bit overwhelming because there's quite a lot going on. But if you compare it with probably a spreadsheet that you're currently using, it's not much difference. Basically, it consists of a big table. And this table consists of all your project-related items. So you see, this is the rug and the sofa and the chair that we just added to our selections board. You can find them all in here, and then you can scroll a lot to the left and right, and you will find all the item information that comes with this product. Now, a quick overview of what you see here. You will see a lot of fields which are bundled up in categories, let's say. We have a financials category, we have a specs category, we have one that is related to order tracking. And you can, of course, customize this view. You can decide yourself which fields do I need to see, which columns are not relevant to me. Are there maybe columns that are missing that you want to manually add? And the way to do that is through this little icon here on the left-hand side of the export button. This is where you can customize your views. You can see here on the right-hand side, you can toggle on and off all the fields and columns that you want to see or maybe hide. So let's say you want to hide a couple of these fields, they are not relevant to you, you can do that. Also, this is your entry point to create your custom fields. Just click on Add New Field, insert the name of the field that you're missing, that you want to see, insert or choose a field type. It can be a text field, a checkbox, a date, and a few other options. Click Save, and the custom field will be saved for you. Usually, your custom fields will show at the very bottom of the list. And from there, you can just click and drag the 6 dots and move the custom field to whichever section you want it to live and where it makes most sense. Now I'm going to leave it at the bottom. And once you're done, just don't forget to click Save. All right, now what else? We do have tons of filters available. Now, you can filter, for example, by approval status. If you only want to see approved items, you can do that. You can filter by document status. You can filter by type. If you, for some reason, you only want to see your products and want to hide services. You can filter by category, by room, order status, vendor. So many options. There is also, you have sorting options. You can sort, for example, if you want to see all the products in alphabetical order, you can do that. And many filters at your convenience. You can use them and customize your view. Now, if you want to export this sheet, if you want to share it with either your client or a GC or your warehouse, you can do that. You just need to export it. Quick note here, whatever you see on your screen is the information that will show in the exported file. So it will maintain the order of the items. It will maintain the information that you will see. So how it works is you can choose between 3 different options. You can export as an Excel file, as an FF&E schedule, or download tear sheets. So let's look at the Excel, for example. If you want to export an Excel, you can choose which fields you want to show and which ones to hide. So for example, again, if you're intending to share the sheet with your clients, let's say, your clients don't need to see any of the financial information, I assume. So make sure that none of these fields are checked. Maybe the total selling price is something that they would care about, or the quantity, something like that. Just make sure that all the fields are checked accordingly. And then you just click on Download as Excel, and the file will be sent to your email, and it will be accessible in House Pro as well. And then you're free to share it with anyone who needs to have access to it. All right. Do we want to cover another question, Katie?
Yes. So if you customize views, will that save going forward, or is it just for that individual view?
It will save, and it will also save across your projects. So if you decide to hide some columns here, they will stay hidden for your next visit, and they will also be hidden for your other projects. So yes, they will save.
Great.
Maybe one more?
Yes, let's see. So good question from Sarah. Can we separate time billing out from service items?
They are supposed to not be in there. So they are already filtered out. If that's not the case for you, Sarah, then please reach out to us separately. but we did make this change a few months ago, and now they are supposed to be filtered out. So they shouldn't be showing.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the questions. Now, this is already all that I wanted to cover in regards to the selections tracker and the selections boards. Now, I did promise you a little surprise and a sneak peek into our brand new feature. It's called the Global Tracker Report. The Global Tracker Report is an exported file that covers all your item details across all your projects. So different to this selections tracker that we just looked at, this is based on one single project. The Global Tracker Report covers all of your projects. It can give you a perfect overview of what's going on, as I said, across different projects. It can be a good resource for other parties involved, such as, for example, if you work with a GC, or if you, or for your receiving warehouse that stores all your products, or very important, I mentioned it in the beginning, it can help with your company financials. So let me go ahead and show you how it works. You can find it under well, not yet, you can't find it yet, but you will be able to find it at some point under company financial reports. And here at the very bottom, you'll be able to access the Global Tracker Report. Again, I will say we are currently running this feature in beta. So if some of you are interested to joining this beta group, if you would like to try it out, if the report works for you, if you are eager to share feedback with us before we roll it out globally and for everyone to have access, please just leave a quick note in the chat and we will be able to add you to the beta group. But now to give you a quick run through how it's going to work. Basically, you have one filter dedicated to your projects, and you can select all the projects that you want to have included in this in the exported file. So let's say I'll pick those two that we just looked at. And then you have another separate filter, which allows you to further refine what you want to export. Very similar to the selections tracker. These filters will look familiar to you. You can filter by approval status, by document status, again, by type, order status, and by vendor. So let's say, for example, you do want to export a list of all the products that are related to those two projects. And you want to send this file to your warehouse, and you want to let them know which items have been ordered, which are about to be delivered, let's say. Just apply those filters. And then you can click on Generate Report. And here also might look somewhat familiar to what we've seen in the selections tracker. Here you can select all the fields that you want to export in regards to all your items. So again, here, for example, your warehouse won't care about financials, so make sure to uncheck all the fields that are related to financials. Order tracking is super important for your warehouse, so make sure to select all those items. And let's pretend this is what we want to export. Then you just click Download Export, and the file will be sent to you to your email address. A nice new feature as well also is you can choose to export it as an Excel or a CSV file in case you do want to import this report in some let's say other reporting analysis softwares. You can do that thanks to a CSV file. Now, generally speaking, what's the use case of this kind of feature? I can give you a few examples. I did talk to one pro, for example, the other day. She was supposed to register her company in the state, and she had to provide a list of all the products that she had sold throughout the year. So this is one great example of how this report can be used. you get a list of all the products that you have sold. You can, for example, filter by document status all the products that have been invoiced. You apply the filter, and then you'll get the list that you will need. Also, many pros use this kind of report for their monthly sales tax reporting. You can filter down your sold items by month. This is a very common use case for this kind of report. And again, as I said in the beginning, maybe if you want to share status updates with your warehouse, you want to give them an overview of what items are about to be delivered, or which items are supposed to have already arrived. This is also the report that you would use in order to get this kind of report. Okay, great. So I'm repeating myself, but please, if you want to be part of our beta group, if you want to test this feature and provide us feedback, please leave us a quick note in the chat. All right, Katie, do we have any more questions?
Yes, we have a few. We also have a few volunteers for the beta group. So thank you for reaching out. We'll be adding that into your account shortly. Another good question from Sarah. Is there a way to have a date for the order in the PO and then have that date transfer into the tracker? Like if you have the order date in the PO, can it transfer to the tracker?
Yes, okay, let's look into that. It's a good question. I kind of run through the tracker a little bit in a hurry, but it's a very good question, and I'm happy we have the time to cover it. So, for example, in this column, you can see all the documents that your products are attached to or assigned to. So let's say we want to see the ones that have a purchase order. Yes, it's this one. So this is the PO that we created earlier. And I assume she's referring to this date. And the question is if this date carries over to the tracker, right, Katie?
Yes.
Okay, so yes and no. It does carry over in the global tracker report. You are able to export this date in the global tracker, the beta feature. It does not show up here. You won't find a field for it. It really depends on the use case, I would say. Why do you need to see the date of the purchase order? You can export it, as I said. Another information that does carry over, though, is the order status. So let's say this PO, I set it to ordered, and you will see if you refresh your tracker, you will see the item, the order status of this item will be ordered. So there is this kind of sync. For the date, I'm afraid, no, it doesn't sync over.
Okay, thank you. I know just a question just came up if you're able to group POs under the same vendor, and you can. There's a way that you can merge POs. I don't know, Desi, if you want to show that. Otherwise, we can just send the help article.
I would say we will send the help article for sure. But apart from that, if you convert multiple items from a proposal or an invoice to a PO, all the items that belong to the same vendor will automatically be grouped for you. But yes, let's share the help article also.
Okay, perfect. Lots more volunteers for the beta group. That is awesome.
Perfect.
Let me just check for a minute and see any other questions.
In the meantime, we could also start running our last poll.
Perfect. Let's do that. Okay, I'll launch this now. Just love to hear how you feel after attending the webinar. Hopefully it's made you more confident using our selections features. Let's see. Some of these questions I think might be like account specific, in which case we can follow up with you afterwards.
I see one question there for the global tracker. Amanda is asking if she can utilize the global tracker for archive projects as well. That's a very good question. I'm pretty sure you can, but let's take a look together. So yes, archive projects are basically what's called closed projects in House Pro. They are right here, and you can include them in your exported file as well.
Desi, thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining.